What up, fight fans? It's the homie, main man, made man in the building. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. Give me 1 second, please. Sorry about this, but I forgot to plug my little light up over here. It's looking a little too dim for my liking, you know? Get the light cracking out real quick. Apologies for this. Should have been did this prior to the vid. Alright, we back. What's up, fight fans? Now, I'm not going to be on here long. I just want to come on here and tell this story real quick because I hear a lot of talk out there pertaining to Timothy Bradley versus Errol Spence Jr. And I kind of want to chime in on this right here, man. So I just caught a video by Errol Spence, Vincent Roof. What up with you, famo? What's up with you? I just caught a video by Errol Spence Jr. and he was speaking about Timothy Bradley. And of course, Errol Spence Jr., when it was brought to Earl, like Timothy Bradley says, you're ducking turns Bud Crawford. Well, Errol Spence Jr.'s reply was, well, when it was time for me and Bradley to fight, guess what? You retired. So, and what? And this got the fans running around like, oh, snap. Yo, Spence gave him the business and Spence this and Spence that. Hopefully it ain't too choppy out there for y'all. Let me know if it's choppy and I'll switch rooms, man. But, so this make me think, and I think to myself, and I'm like, hold up. I remember when this went down. And it didn't go down like a lot of the Spence fans are saying. A lot of the Spence fans are saying, yo, he ducked Timothy Bradley. Now, I've already told this story on the channel, and I remember it like it was yesterday. So allow me to kind of reiterate some of the points about this situation. Now, the way I see it between Errol Spence and Timothy Bradley, first off, though I got my differences with Timothy Bradley, how he acts outside of the ring sometimes, at the end of the day, do not misunderstand it. Timothy Bradley was a hell of a fighter, Hall of Famer in my opinion, very, very good fighter, a lot of good wins under his resume. Timothy Bradley, when it comes to inside the ring, there is no criticism that you can say. You can say he looked like a bag of muscles and he ain't had no power, fine, but he can box his ass off, and he had the heart of a lion, bruh. I remember that Ruslan Provodnikov fight, how that boy was fighting out of instinct, on his feet, fighting out of instinct, just swinging. Probably seeing 4 or 5 Ruslan Provodnikovs, just swinging. I remember that Timothy Bradley, man. So we got to at least show him respect on that front, you know what I'm saying? Now, Timothy Bradley stated that Earl was ducking turns Crawford. People feeling some kind of way. Y'all got to remember something for those who don't know. Lawrence, what's up with you, famo? What's up with you? Y'all got to remember something. Terrence Crawford lived with Timothy Bradley at once upon a time. Literally lived in the man's house. Timothy Bradley has always been a mentor to Terrence Bud Crawford. Always. Helped him usher in his deal with Top Rank. I mean, all that, man. They mentored that kid. He is blood. He is family to Timothy Bradley. So Timothy Bradley standing up for Terrence Crawford, there is no entity on this earth, I believe, especially in boxing. The boxing media, uploaders, fans, critics, whoever, referees, judges, promoters, you will not break up the bond between Timothy Bradley and Terrence Bud Crawford. It just won't happen. Now let's go back to that time when they were supposed to fight. And I'm talking Timothy Bradley and Errol Spence Jr. Let's go to December of 2016. For anybody who missed it earlier, I shared a post here on the channel, you know, how you share a post or whatnot. And I was trying to refer y'all to a video that I did about a year ago based on this exact subject pertaining to Errol Spence Jr. and Timothy Bradley. Go check that out. But December of 2016, y'all remember what went down during that time, right? A lot of people don't. So allow me to kind of reiterate your mind. The WBC in May of that year had just created the Clean Boxer program. Remember? The August rankings for the WBC came out. Errol Spence Jr.'s name was not involved in those rankings. Errol Spence Jr. went on to face, at that time, Chris Algieri and Leonard Bundu. Both of those fights were IBF eliminators. This is the reason I remember at the time I was complaining, because I was saying, why does Errol Spence Jr. got to fight an eliminator from an eliminator? At the time, I didn't understand it. But they gave him 2 back-to-back IBF eliminators. Earl Spence Jr. was nowhere in the August rankings of the WBC. Earl Spence Jr. was nowhere in the October rankings of the WBC. Then come around to the December rankings, December of 2016. Mysteriously, Earl Spence Jr.'s name pops up as ranked third in the WBC. And Timothy Bradley's name popped up ranked second in the WBC. At the time, the number one guy, I think at the time, if I'm not mistaken, was Amir Khan. But Amir Khan had just lost his mandatory position because Amir Khan had went up to face Canelo Alvarez and he got injured. And so he tried to come back down, but the WBC said, yo, we'll keep you there, but you're not the mandatory, which means the mandatory spot was wide open at number one. It was ordered that December also that Danny Garcia will go on to face Keith one-time Thurman. So the champion was tied up in Danny Garcia. The mandatory position was wide open. And Timothy Bradley was rated second in the WBC, and Earl Spence Jr. mysteriously was ranked third. Follow me now. Now, at this time, Earl Spence Jr. has already fought 2 IBF eliminators. So he was en route to the IBF championship, right? Now, when I speak to Earl Spence Jr. fans and I ask them, why did he remove himself from the WBC? They say, main man, he wanted to pursue the IBF. I say, cool. I'm good. That's cool with me. I mean, he fought 2 eliminator matches leading up to that moment. So the question I had asked at the time is, why would the WBC try to order a fight? Because they ordered a fight between Timothy Bradley and Earl Spence Jr. in an eliminator match, which means possibly that winner would have went on to become the WBC mandatory, which was vacant at the time, right? So my question at the time was, why did the WBC order this fight? During that time, Timothy Bradley was fighting on HBO with Top Rank. During that time, Earl Spence Jr. was over on PBC. They was just budding at that time. And they was just kicking off their own brand. So they were on way polar opposites of the spectrum at that time. But the WBC ordered a fight. This wasn't Floyd and Manny. This wasn't none of that. You know what I mean? So the question I asked, like, why would they do that, knowing that the network differences, the politics of boxing, the promoter differences, the whole nine? Why would they order that fight? And then it hit me. Ding, ding, ding. They knew that Earl Spence Jr. was heading over to the IBF to fight for a world title, because he had just fought 2 eliminator matches and he wasn't in their rankings in August or October. But December, when it's time for Earl Spence to now go after the title, he mysteriously pops up in the WBC rankings. So Earl says, well, Tim, you retired. The thing is this, that fight was ordered by the WBC, meaning that possibly even a purse bid would have maybe even came into play. But Earl at that time was set for a title fight. So he was heading to the IBF. Timothy Bradley was almost retired at that point. Matter of fact, I don't even think he fought again after that. Or did he fight one more time after that with Teddy Atlas? He barely fought anymore after that. But the point I'm trying to make to y'all is, Earl says, Tim, you retired. Earl, you tend to forget. And remember, you were going to the IBF. Tim was in the WBC. So you can't say it was all Timothy Bradley's fault, because he was on his way out the door and you were heading to a title fight with Kell Brook in the IBF. Then the WBC comes out at that time and says, oh, we are dropping Earl Spence Jr. from the rankings because he failed to enroll in the Clean Boxer program. And they failed to tell the fans that we were just pissed off because Earl went to the IBF and didn't stay his ass here. Now I asked him, I said, hey, man, so why? I asked fans, I said, why didn't Earl stay in the WBC? Because even if Timothy Bradley would have got out the way, Earl would have still probably fought somebody for the mandatory spot, which means he would have probably got the winner of Thurman and Danny. But then I think about it, I say, well, he would have had to fight one fight. And then, of course, we know how the WBC works. After that title fight, they probably would have made Earl wait up to a year to get a shot, like Wilder be doing, right? So Earl figured like, yo, why would I wait all that time when I can go over here to the IBF and kill? I'm the man now. I already fought the Eliminators. Shit, I'm due for my title shot. So why don't I walk on over here to the IBF? Earl says Tim retired, but Earl, you left the sanctioning body. So when you say it's Tim's fault that the fight didn't happen, remember, it was both of y'all fault. Tim, on the one hand, couldn't cross the street for show, and he damn sure. I remember the interview with Dante's Boxing Nation. Timothy Bradley, that interview still here is on YouTube. He get an interview with Dante's Boxing Nation. Salute to Dante's Boxing Nation. And they ask him, they say, yo, Tim, yo, WBC just ordered you to face Earl Spence Jr. You remember Timothy Bradley's response? Oh, they did? Oh, they did? Oh, they ordered me to fight? Okay. Oh, they can order it all they want. Tim had no interest in facing Earl Spence Jr. And from what I'm looking at the whole story in its totality, neither man had any interest in facing one another. Earl wanted to go to the IBF and get that title shot. Tim was looking at the door. Neither man were looking at each other. Take in mind just a month prior to December, in November or October or August or September or any of those months, Earl wasn't even in the rankings. Check my vid on it. I pulled up the old rankings, screenshots of all of them. No mention of Earl Spence until December of 2016, in which Earl at that point had a title shot locked down. So neither man was thinking of neither man. Tim ain't want to go in there with that young killer, that young gun, and not to mention the boxing political will just wasn't there. Bob Arum was not going to, leave his in-house model with HBO to have Timothy Bradley go and face a Earl Spence Jr. Remember, Earl was not a big name at that time. Earl was not a world champion at that time. And Bob wasn't going to do it. So this is the reason I asked, why did the WBC order it when they knew that that fight had no chance of happening? And Earl Spence Jr. was never even in your top 5, 10, or 15. None that year. So ain't nobody ducking. When he says Timothy Bradley retired, he did. He probably did. I don't deny that. And I don't deny that Timothy Bradley did not want to face Earl Spence. But let's not act like Earl remained in that WBC. Let's not act like Earl was not heading in the direction of the IBF prior to whatever situation that worked out with Timothy Bradley. Let's not act like that didn't happen. And those are the facts. This is not main man's opinion. If you do your research and you want to challenge me on this, go look it up. That is the facts of exactly what happened. You did. Boxing TJA, what's up with you? Renee Boxung, Famo, in the building. Alec Cartier, in the building. What's up, Famo? What's goody with you? Lauren says, in my honest opinion, Tim is just trying to cape for Bud, which I am not mad at. At the same time, reality is it's two sides of the street. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%, Lawrence. And this is why I'm trying to explain to the fans now. You got to understand that was a two-sided thing. Neither man wanted neither man. It wasn't Timothy Bradley running out on Earl, and it wasn't Earl running out on Tim. It's just that they already were at different places in their career thinking of other things when the WBC tried to lump them together. And I believe the reason that they lumped them together that way was only to keep Earl Spence Jr. from running on over to the IBF, which he eventually did, and he never fought in the WBC since. You know what I mean? You the only YouTuber I heard speak to specifics on this subject. Yeah, man. I mean, we got to keep shit in perspective here, man. That's so, I'm going to say this, man. Like, I've been on YouTube for a while, and today is the rise of the uploader. And we need to be mindful, uploaders, that these corporate entities out here, these big ESPNs, these corporate entities, they're looking to invade our space here on YouTube. Which means we got to be on our A game, bro, because they are looking to come on this platform because they ain't getting it where they coming from. So they're looking to invade our space. This has always been a sacred place for uploaders. Now the corporate media is trying their best to infiltrate this. So we got to really stick to the facts as much as we know how, and be entertaining also at the same damn time. You know what I mean? Bud knows he won't fight Spence soon at all. Yeah, don't look like that's happening no time soon. If these guys ever do fight, I got Spence, yo, all day. I hear you, Renee. I'm gonna hold you to that, Renee. I'm gonna hold you to that, famo. I'm gonna hold you to that. So I just wanted to tell the story. Please, if anybody, missed anything, you know what I'm saying? If anybody missed any facts about this, you can leave me a question in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to come on through and answer it. We can bring this up again tomorrow on Wednesday night on We Talking Boxing, but I want the facts to be out there. I don't want people running around just because Timothy Bradley be acting the way he acting. Doesn't mean that we got to discredit him in the ring and remember what happened or what didn't happen. You dig? So it is what it is. Truth be told, Earl just, I thought, got gassed up for that moment for him to say that. Because he know damn well he was heading towards that IBF. Real talk. It's all good. You say you think you going to eat crow, big bro? I'm going to be looking for you, Renee, all day long. And I hope that fight does happen. Y'all have a good night. Stay stressed and sucker free. Much love to each and every one of y'all. Do not forget, We Talking Boxing going down Wednesday night. Salute to all the fam. Hit the thumbs up for the homie. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't hit it on the way in, hit it on the way out. And those, my friends, are the facts. Much love to each and every one of y'all. I check y'all on the next one. Peace out. Peace, fam.